Hello friends, today we are going to learn forms in HTML5. So what are forms? Forms are actually a collection of inputs, and you have to enter your name and passwords and personal data like passport data and bank accounts. So these all created in forms, and the inputs of that forms then taken with PHP and JavaScript. So today we are going to learn how we can make a good structure of forms and how we can use in real situations. So let's do it. So let's make a form. Okay. So today we are going to learn forms, and how we can create forms. The first thing, how we can create forms. For creating form, you have to use the form tag, as simple as this. So use the form tag, and inside the form tag there are a set of other tags that will help you to create your data. So first of all, we are going to use the label tag that tells that whether it is first name, last name, but it is not very important, but in some cases it is. So use the label, and then we just need to enter the input tag here. Okay, and now inside the label use the first name. That's it. Now come back to your browser. This is the browser, and wait a minute. Refresh the page. Now as you can see, this is the first name as a label is appearing, and in the front of the first name there is an input box. The syntax of using this is input type text. Now why we are using type here, I will tell you in just wait a minute. So just come again to your forms and type anything like your name or whatever. Let me zoom in. So it is 250% zoomed, and this is Absar. Okay, you can name whatever you want to write. So like if I want to store my password here, like GG and whatever my password is, it is coming in the form of text, not asterisks or dots. How we can convert this thing into dots? So for this purpose, just come here and type password here, and again refresh the page. Now you can see the text is not appearing. So this is the way we use type attribute in input. Now here I'm just using the text again because our name is not in dots, and then the ID attribute. Now ID attribute is important because in some cases some users are not used to this input box and they don't click on this, they first click on this. So for this purpose we make the ID and use it whatever you want to name. I'm using the descriptive names here, first name. Remember that ID don't have the ability to make spaces between. Okay, so just I'm using the minus, or you can say hyphen sign here, and then just copy it and paste it in the inside the for. Now refresh the page, and when I click on it, it will highlight its outline or border, and then the cursor is blinking here. So this is the way. Now the next thing is I'm just copying it again here and pasting it downward, and then here it is showing me a warning, and it is telling me that you can't use ID 2 times, okay, or more than 2. we can just use id one single time with the similar name. So we are going to use the second id, second, and then name, and then just copy it from here and paste it here. And type it here second and refresh the page. So as you can see, it is coming in the same line. And I want to tell you that the label and input both are inline element, so it is coming in the line. Okay, now if you just want to make the second name just before the first name, just use here br tag and refresh your page. Now you can see it in this way. So again come here, refresh. So the next thing is I want to include password. Now I just want to use the br tag and use input, and then here there are many options, so you can use, I'm just using the password, and a label for password. I just using pass here and enter password. Okay, and then just come here and use the pass and refresh your page. Now you enter password here. Now you can see password is coming in dots. Now the next thing is why there is coming a name attribute. The name attributes actually used in data entry, or you can say that when you want to make your data give to another server. So for this purpose we use name, and inside name, like we can say password, and here I'm again using the name attribute, just copying it from here and pasting it here inside the input, and then just use the second name and here first name. Now what will it do? I will tell you in seconds. So just use another input here and name it as input submit, maybe. Yes, input submit, and give it a value of submit. Now why I'm giving it a value? Without giving it a value, the button will not display anything. Like if I refresh, it is empty. So the value is used for this purpose. Just use submit here, and then refresh your page. Here you can see the button is coming. Now whenever I just use the name and submit it, now you can see here first name equals Absar, and the second name equals to Ahmad, and the password is equal to this. It is telling me the password. But when you log in on your Google account and giving a password, you can't see the password in the URL because there are some methods of doing so. The method are get and post. Now if I use the get and then input my data, it will show the password here. But for personal data, we don't use get here, we use post here, and then refresh. Now the personal data will not appear here. So I just submit the data, and the first name is this, second name is this. Actually refresh the page and then again enter name and submit it. Now it is not giving me, I don't know why it is happening. And you can see I'm just submitting data and there nothing is appearing here. So this is the way of using forms. Now there are many of other you can say attributes and of input, so you can use it one by one. So just copy it, paste it, refresh it. So another submit button. There are two ways of using. There's another way of using it, reset, and reset. Now if I use this reset button, whenever I wrote the form and I want to all del all, just click on the reset and it will remove all the blanks. Now the next thing is you can actually explore many things from here, like date, time, date, local, email. Email is very important. Now what is email does, email actually used for entering email like ABC. Now if I use ABC and submit the data, it is telling me you have to use this. Now why it is telling me, actually here I am using this type email, so always use this type, not text. Okay, so email @ gmail.com and then submit it and it will submit the data. So this way you can use the email. Now the next thing is radio buttons and checkboxes. Now these two are very important. So let me make it something legendary. So just use the input here, and inside type just use radio, and then use the name like male, copy it, female, sorry for wrote wrong spellings, and then custom. Now refresh your page and you can see the male, female is coming, but it is selecting everything. I created these 3 buttons of radio buttons, but it is selecting 3 of them. So how we can make a button that will select only one? So just use the name here. So I'm just using the name, and then use the name as gender or whatever you want to use, and make sure that you use the same spellings in other 2 tags also, and then just refresh it. And now you can see if I click on this, now here is another problem. Now when I click on this, it is not selecting this because we don't use a label here. So we should use label instead of just typing this. So just use the label here, and then give it an ID for gender, and then gender here also, and then use the title. Now refresh it, continue, and it is coming. So just use this label in the front of others also, copy it, paste it, and again paste it. Now gender F and gender C for custom, and then just come here and use the custom, give it ID for gender C, and also an ID for gender F for female, and just I'm using the descriptive names, so you can use whatever ABC or whatever. So just come here and female, female, custom, and refresh your page. Okay, I think so I just misspelled something else. Okay, just remove this extra written labels. Now just run it once more. Now if I just click on the words, it will select it. So this is another way of making your radio buttons. Now the next thing, and maybe the last thing, is an input for checkboxes. Okay, like input and type here checkbox, and then use the label here for subject C, and write computer, and then just come here, refresh your page, and here you can see it is giving me a checkbox. Now we can use checkboxes to create multiple or to select multiple lines, so multiple subjects or whatever, multiple options. Computer, physics, okay, and English. Now make here C, E, and C, C, and E, and just copy them and paste it here. Something like this. Just refresh your page, and here you can see this. Click on this, click on this. You can click multiple. Okay, so this is the way of making your forms. Now let's make a beautiful form with HTML only. So the last thing is, actually one thing is missing, is select, and then use the inside the select, use option, and option, give it a value whatever, and then just use name, English, computer, so refresh your page. Now you can see you can select multiple of them. You can select one of them, but they are just given choice. You can select only 4 of them, one of them from these 4 options. So I'm selecting here whatever I want. So the last thing is, let's make it look more cool, and for this purpose just inside the form use the field set, and just cutting it from here, and then paste it here, something like this. Refresh here, nothing will happen. Okay, the border will come here, and then just use the legend, and then choose something like personal data. Come here, refresh your page, and you can see the personal data is appearing in the top as a title, and then just make it look more good for just some in VR, and then just cut it from here, paste it in the last, and then this is my first name, this is my second name, this is my password, this is my email. So for email, just break it from here, and then let me show you what is actually happening. Okay, one thing is missing, that is enter email. And then just BR here and H4 gender. Okay, one thing is missing. I should not use H4, I should use label here. And then just now it is looking good. Also, and then just refresh your page in this way, and then in the last I just use here. So now our form is created. Now the last thing is, if you don't want to use these first names, so how you can make your web page? We are just going to use the placeholders, just cutting it from here, and inside the input just use the placeholder, paste it here. You can use both, but I'm just using this. Now what will it do? Just refresh your page, continue, and you can see the first name is appearing in the input box. Now when I just click on it and type anything, it will disappear. So this is the way. Now just I'm coming here and then the second name, cutting it from here, and then inside the input use the placeholder and paste it here. I will do the same thing with others.